This is Renelle, and welcome to Quality Hang with Rod Brooks and friends. And here he is now, your host, my main man, Rod Brooks.
Thank you very much, Renelle. Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to Quality Hang. I am Rod Brooks, and as always, I'm joined on this broadcasting adventure by my partner in crime, my friend, your friend. He is Marcus Osborne. What up, man?
What's good, baby?
Happy Friday, brother. Happy Free for All Friday. We got to get the Jamaican air horn on here. I got to find a way to get that sound effect on it.
I might have it somewhere. Maybe I'll send it to you. I used a soundboard when I was producing Renelle's show, so I'm sure I have it somewhere around.
It just it conveys the message you want conveyed.
Yeah.
When you hit the Jamaican air horn, you know that a good time is being had, right?
There really ought to be a soundboard provided on this here live stream.
Well, you know, Tony and Paul, they have one. They have a whole little setup that I need to get with them. Of course, Tony and Paul, Paulie Max Particles, Tony Ryan, Paul McCaffrey, our brothers here at the Bay Area Sports Collective. They got a whole little shebang-a-bang, a little setup that I need to learn about.
Now, is it hardware or is it part of the software?
Hardware. It's not part of the software. Yeah.
All right. So I might. Dang, I used to have a little soundboard. Dang.
I mean, because us having sound, it could be very dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
And when I say dangerous, I mean in a very juvenile type way.
What do you say? Of course it would be dangerous. That goes without saying.
Let's go ahead and get this party started as we do with every show, thanking our presenting sponsor, the fine folks at Hop Monk Taverns. 3 locations to choose from: Sonoma, Sebastopol, and Novato. At all 3 locations, they all do the same great things. Fantastic food from a diverse menu, a craft beer selection that is out of this world. And what they do better than anybody around here is that as far as live entertainment goes, they've got you covered at Hop Monk. Basically, whatever you're looking for, whatever is clever, they've got it for you at Hop Monk. Whether it's touring acts from around the country coming by all 3 Hop Monk venues, whether it is open mic comedy night, whether it is country line dancing night, whether it's poetry slam night, they've got you covered at Hop Monk. So to see what they have coming up as far as live entertainment, as far as live music is concerned, check them out online at hopmonk.com. I'm going to start the show, Marcus, with this, my friend. You were exactly right. You were 100% correct in your skepticism about whether Christian McCaffrey would be healthy enough for the Niners over the course of this season.
What happened?
You don't know?
No.
Well, you know, let me stop and then start here. It is nothing catastrophic, okay?
Right.
And if you folks are just putting on your sports talk ears, if you will, nothing catastrophic with Christian McCaffrey. This is all precautionary. But Christian McCaffrey, after being limited in practice yesterday, is officially questionable for the game in Seattle on Sunday. Christian McCaffrey felt something in his calf yesterday, alerted the Niners medical staff, and instead of a full lather practice, they decided to go ahead and keep him to the side. All right. So he was limited. Exactly. Smart. And we're going to hear from McCaffrey here in just a second. So limited yesterday. I shouldn't say they tried to ramp him up today. Practice at 12:30 today. Christian McCaffrey came out for the team warm-up period, if you will. You know, do some jumping jacks, some calisthenics. I'm being a little bit ridiculous here, but it's a team warm-up period. And as the team started the final practice of the week before they head to Seattle tomorrow, Christian McCaffrey didn't practice with the team. He practiced on the side field, and he was officially listed as questionable. So again, this is nothing catastrophic. Yeah. However, if you're a Niner fan and you know how important Christian McCaffrey is, and you also know Christian McCaffrey's very recent injury history, this is not the greatest news of all time.
You know, it's kind of sad because honestly, this is probably one of the most talented players I've ever seen. Like
Mhm.
basic football skills and probably one of the most overall talented players I've ever seen. But I don't know why, for some reason, his body betrays him. His body betrays him so often. It's sad because if he had been relatively healthy his entire career, who the hell knows?
Well, you're talking about somebody that would have been, in my estimation, at the beginning, if not in the midst of a true Hall of Fame
Yeah, dude.
career. He is just that good. I mean,
Yeah,
go all the way back to college and understanding that
yeah.
college football and professional football are
Stanford.
two completely different stories. But
Yeah,
his Heisman worthy campaign was just that, Heisman worthy, and he lost the Heisman to a guy who is an all-world player in college, is an all-world player now in Derrick Henry. So Christian McCaffrey has been that dude all the way
Mhm.
going back to Stanford. He just plays a very, I mean, they all do, but boy, he seems to be um he seems to be the poster child for just playing a very quick, fast twitch type game. And having that type of game leads to the injuries that McCaffrey has had. A lot of muscle pulls, a lot of tendon issues, whether tendon strains or just flat out tendon tears. And that's just the type of football player he is. But when he's right, I was saying this last night, doing after the game, after the Eagles Cowboys game, that you saw how important Saquon Barkley is to Jalen Hurts in that Eagles offense. To have a guy that you can turn around and hand the ball to in a traditional way,
Yes, sir.
and then also have a guy where you can throw the ball to him in open space as a check down or whatever, or even the first option or second option.
Yep.
And he could get in space and he can make guys miss, or he's your guy in the red zone, or he's your hot route, and you could throw it to him and he'll make an amazingly athletic catch and then still run people over or make people miss. When you have that type of player in your offense, you have an offense that can withstand AJ Brown not catching a ball. It's an offense that can withstand Deebo Samuel. And I'm not speaking ill of him because he's no longer here, but you can withstand a Deebo Samuel that is in a diminished state, or you can withstand not having Brandon Ayuk around. That's how important Christian McCaffrey is. And when he's not around, it's a completely and totally different offense. Now, I will say this: every season is different, but the Niners have won 3 in a row in Seattle. Their most recent game in Seattle last October, they won it without Christian McCaffrey, and they ran for 228 yards. And Isaac Guerrero had almost 100, 99 of them to be exact. Brock Purdy had 3 touchdowns. 2 of them went to George Kittle in the red zone. So again, it's not optimal to possibly, and this is possibly because he's questionable, not have Christian McCaffrey, but it's not a death sentence for the Niners. But it completely changes the calculus. Not that the Seahawks go, McCaffrey
Yeah.
doesn't play, we're okay, but not having him there makes it a completely and totally different situation for both teams. But it's a situation where it's not optimal for the Niners. It's a situation that they can handle because, unfortunately, they dealt with this situation before, as recently as the beginning of last year. It was the same situation. Christian McCaffrey had a good camp, had a good preseason, and the next thing you know, on Friday he's limited. I should say on Thursday he's limited. On Friday he does not practice, and then he's out for the game. Last year it was opening against the Jets.
Yeah.
It's the exact same situation right now, although we don't know if he's going to play or not.
I mean, I'm going to assume the best at this point.
Yeah.
But I mean, the worst thing about having these injuries, particularly these kinds of injuries at the outset of the season, is that you kind of spend months just trying not to make it worse.
Yes.
And that's the part that sucks. I would rather you it's crazy to say, but break a finger or something.
Because bones heal, right?
Yeah.
Like once it's healed, it's healed.
Yeah.
Nothing you do about it. Right. Yeah.
But trying to manage these types of issues for an entire year, also with the full understanding that it could go south on you very quickly at any time for almost any nebulous little reason.
And it'd be
That's the
different
problem.
if you were talking about a hamstring injury or a quad injury. Not that those are great,
Right.
but when you start talking about calf,
Yeah,
which
but
is near the Achilles tendon,
yeah, buddy.
with Christian McCaffrey, everybody goes, whoa. Let's hear from Christian McCaffrey because he said something very interesting. It's not only that the Niners have to manage Christian McCaffrey, and they do, and they will, but Christian McCaffrey has to manage himself. Check this
Mhm.
out from earlier today.
Worried about my physical condition.
What happened yesterday?
Nothing serious, I can tell you that. No, I feel, like I said, I feel great about where I'm at. Just unfortunately, when you have an injury history that I have, sometimes when you don't practice, things get blown out of proportion. But like I said, I feel great.
Is it not? Does it feel different than it felt last summer?
Yeah, I mean, I've forgotten about last year. Forgot about the year before that. The year before that, I'm focused on this week and playing Seattle on Sunday.
Just kind of thing in practice where you felt something and you just want to be real cautious with it? Is that kind of what happened?
Yeah, I'm not supposed to go into anything that happened, but as I felt like it was a smart thing to do to not finish the practice because I've been there before and I've been my own worst enemy in situations like that, and I was proud of myself for not doing that again. And like I said, I went through a whole training camp, feel great about where I'm at.
All right, so that's McCaffrey at the end there, I think, is the most important part of that soundbite. And thanks to the partners at NBC Sports Bay Area for the video. It's McCaffrey managing himself. He said he felt something in practice and alerted the training staff, and then they took the necessary precautionary steps to limit him in practice yesterday, not have him practice today, in hopes, even though he's questionable on the game designation list, that he can play on Sunday.
That's a
Okay.
That's a win for the 49ers. It's a win for Christian McCaffrey because these athletes, dude. They particularly after going through all the stuff that he's gone through, he's not trying to miss no time, no game. How hard is it for guys like that to simply say, you know what, I shouldn't push it?
It's extremely hard.
It's so difficult, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you see it all the time, and then they end up hurting themselves even more.
It's hard for guys who are trying to gain credibility in the league and gain a foothold in the league. It's hard for guys who are in the league established, but they don't want to lose their spot. Yeah. It's hard for guys like McCaffrey who have an injury history and also know that they're closer to the end of their career than the beginning. It's a very difficult bit of calculus to play. And I do think, and I feel confident in saying that McCaffrey would agree if we were to pose this question or situation to him, that there have been many times over the course of his career where he has not necessarily been not dishonest, but he hasn't been honest about his situation. Like, no, I'm good. I can play. And then that eventually ends up being a situation where you're making matters worse. You hear it all the time. You have to save the athlete from themselves. Gotcha. And
you see dudes out there woozy, literally walking
all the time, all the time.
Talking about, I want to go back in.
And so you have to save the athlete from themselves, but also at some point in time, the athlete has to save him or herself from him or herself. And I think in this case, McCaffrey is doing that.
Yeah, they have to think long term, and it's very difficult, particularly when you're a young player, to think about your long term. Like Tua over in Miami, I don't think that dude's going to play very long.
No, I mean, just it's just the way that he has gone about his business, and the nature of his injury tells you that he's not going to play.
Right, and I think part of it is him just probably should be taking a little bit more time off from the game. Honestly, I would have taken a year off, dude.
Yeah, but again, if you are a player of his status, and he's made a lot of money, but he's got a foothold in the league, but as a quarterback, it's tenuous, and you also have his injury history, and you're also in your mid-20s, and as we know, people in their mid-20s, especially dudes, especially athletes, don't necessarily make the smartest of decisions when it comes to not only present day but the future. He's going to play. Nobody wants to get Wally pipped. Okay, Wally Pipp is a reference, a person from the 30s. But I say Wally Pipp, everybody knows what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Nobody wants to get Wally pipped.
I saw I saw Andrew Luck talking the other day,
Mm.
interviewing about his injuries and how he got hurt so often that he just didn't love the game anymore.
Yeah.
Like it literally just ruined his love for the game. That's why he retired.
Yeah.
But also he was talking about, but now that he's away from it, he kind of regained a lot of that love back, but he's not out there getting beat up all the time.
What you know what it is? It's like I've heard it described. Obviously, I would have no understanding of it. It's like childbirth,
Yeah.
where it's a very painful thing from what I've heard. Again, I would have no practical experience with that, but I've heard ladies say you get further away from that very intense situation,
Yeah.
and you forget how intense and how
Yeah.
painful it is. That's what
Yes.
Andrew Luck was talking about. He's forgotten how bad it was
Mhm.
playing for that Colts organization, playing for that team, and the ass whooping he took. He's so far removed from it now,
True.
he almost looks back on it in a wistful way, like,
Yeah.
you know, it sucked, but man, we had a lot of fun. Like, no, dog, it sucked.
You were beat up all the time.
Yo, dog, they was whooping your ass, son.
All the time. How old is CMC?
Do what?
How old is CMC? How old is he? Is he 30?
I would have to look it up, but I mean, he's early 30s, easy.
I was wondering if he was 30 yet.
Early 30s. Oh, yeah. Probably 30 right on the number. Let's see if I can look it up here real quick. While I'll do that, game over in Brazil, of all places. The NFL going back over there for the second year in a row. And the Kansas City Chiefs, who were down 10-0, made it a game late, eventually lost to the Natalie-attired Los Angeles Chargers 27-21 as the NFL season has started, and it started in a fantastic fashion last night, Marcus, with the Dallas Cowboys in hilarious fashion, losing to the Philadelphia Eagles on Thursday night, and obviously the bulk of the slate gets going in earnest on Sunday with the Niners. This is before the designation for Christian McCaffrey, although I don't think the line is going to move that much. As important as he is, he's still not a quarterback. The Niners 2.5-point favorites on the road in Seattle, where they have won, as I mentioned, 3 games in a row. So again,
road pick.
Do what?
It's a pretty solid spread for a road pick. I mean, they pretty much feel like the 49ers got that in the bag.
I mean, that's for the Niners to be. I mean, not that it's that big of a number, but for the Niners to be 2.5-point favorites on the road,
I'm saying, like,
it does get your attention. And if you know gambling, and it's not my thing, but if you know gambling, the spread is not what Vegas thinks is going to happen. They're trying to get people, they're trying to get money from both sides. And you see 2.5 points, especially now with McCaffrey being questionable, but you see 2.5 points, a young Niner defense going to Seattle. If I were a gambling man, and I ain't, I'd go with the Seahawks plus 2.5, just because
that's a good spread for,
I mean,
for a road.
I mean, it's
a road game.
Exactly. That's what Vegas is trying to do. They're trying to entice people who are inclined to gamble to say, no, there's just something about that. Even though the Niners have won 3 games in a row, can they win 4? And can they win it by a field goal? You know, we shall see. But it's gonna be a good game for certain.
Is that the longest streak they've had on the road against Seattle?
Oh, I mean, I haven't looked it up, but I would think so. Yeah, sure.
I bet you that is.
Yeah. I mean, even though I've watched all of these games, I was stunned to be reminded that the Niners had won 3 games in a row. And like I said, as recently as last year, going there and winning the game on the strength of their run game without Christian McCaffrey. But there's one guy who I think is going to be extremely important, there's 2 guys, whether Christian McCaffrey plays or not. George Kittle, as I mentioned, he had those 2 touchdowns last year. Both of them came in the red zone, and they needed that because they didn't have McCaffrey, who's their biggest red zone threat. So if you don't have McCaffrey, you're looking for Kittle in the end zone once again, in the red zone, I should say, as he was last year. Kittle also 2 years prior to that in 2022 had a 4-reception, 93-yard, 2-touchdown game. Both of those touchdowns were long ones, 28 yards and 54 yards. So either way, I think this sets up as a game where George Kittle is going to be a factor as far as catching touchdowns. But I think this is a Ricky Pearsall game too. I mentioned in last year's game without McCaffrey, they had 3 touchdowns, Kittle with 2. Debo Samuel had 1, and it was a reception. He had a 3-catch over 100-yard game. If you can get a touchdown out of Ricky Pearsall and a touchdown out of George Kittle, maybe a touchdown out of Christian McCaffrey, it's 21 points, a field goal out of Jake Moody, which understandably is a dicey proposition. That's 24. This is a young Niner defense, and I think this is going to be a problem for them until proven otherwise for the in the not too distant future. But I think 24 points on the road in Seattle, I think defensively you can find a way to make that work, to tie that into a bow.
Yeah, facts. Yeah. That's what that meant. They win the game.
I would be inclined to think so. I mean, 24 points on the road. I mean, really, it's anybody, but particularly Seattle should be able to get you. Should be able to get you the win. So, yeah. So it's going to be interesting, but obviously Christian McCaffrey and whether he is able to play is going to be the big deal. How did you enjoy? Because you know how much I enjoyed it. How did you enjoy watching the Cowboys not win a football game last night?
I actually enjoyed. I mean, to be honest with you, seeing Big Boy spitting and getting kicked out the game. Talking about Jalen Carter. Yeah, it just I can't stand that stuff. Something about seeing guys spit on people. And listen, I've seen all kinds of dirty plays, and even after those dirty plays, I still don't feel like fuck that dude. But when you spit on somebody, it just does something to my soul, man.
Yeah, I mean that was pure D sucker shit of the highest order, or I guess lowest order. Looking at it in
I like that player.
Context.
I like him.
Oh yeah, no, Jalen Carter can play. But
great
clearly he's someone who is prone to making poor decisions. I mean, we know that ever since he was at Georgia. We know that, when he was, driving 100 miles an hour and unfortunately being involved in the deaths of a couple of people. So, but that's the risk that everybody knew that the Eagles were taking, that they were getting a supremely talented football player. You put Jalen Carter in the middle of your defensive line, you are a much better defense. Problem is you're dealing with somebody who is, he did something vile yesterday, and I want to be careful in my words because I don't want to dehumanize him, even though he did a very dehumanizing thing in spitting on Dak Prescott. I would love to spit on every Cowboys jersey I see. It's just something you just don't do. But he clearly is someone who is he's making good decisions. Is just something he's not capable of doing. And if he wasn't a supremely talented football player, he would be a problem just out there in public as a normal person.
Amen. I mean, the game itself was Cowboys far better showing than I expected from them.
Yeah.
And maybe that's because everybody expected them to get blown out, and that happens every now and then, especially first game of the season. Mm-hmm. Anything can happen. I don't expect them to be that competitive the rest of the year, but I could be wrong.
Well,
that's a rivalry game too. So
yeah, the thing that surprised me was how proficient they are offensively. I mean, if you really break it down, they were a CD Lamb drop or 2 or 3, I guess, away from winning that football game.
Yeah,
or being in a better position to win that football game, and they were surprisingly in a good position to win that game. So offensively, they're going to be good. But what is hilarious and what makes it so delicious as a Cowboy hater is that Jerry Jones said that he traded Micah Parsons because he wanted to get better at stopping the run. And I know Clark wasn't out there, but they couldn't stop a nosebleed on the ground. And they couldn't get to Jalen Hurts. So they're worse defensively than they were with Micah Parsons. That's going to be a recurring theme over the course of the season. And as a Cowboy hater, it's going to be so fun because with that offense, they're going to be in enough games, but they're not going to have the defensive personnel to win them. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
absolutely. I mean, and plus the nightmare of having it be Saquon Barkley, which means it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
It could have been a lot worse.
Could have been a whole lot worse.
Yeah, but I really am surprised that they had that kind of showing. Actually, since I don't really have a dog in that fight, it made it actually an entertaining game to watch. I don't like to see blowouts typically, even with teams I hate. I would actually kind of like to see the teams I hate lose on last second field goals and touchdowns. That makes me to rip victory out of the defeat out of the jaws of victory makes me feel really good.
I was saying to a friend of mine who is a Cowboy fan that I don't know what I enjoy. I enjoy both of them. I don't know which one I enjoy more. I don't know if I enjoy it when the Cowboys are good and they make it to the playoffs and they lose. All the Cowboy fans, I should say everybody, all the Cowboy fans, their hopes get up and you hear "We them boys," and then they lose in the playoffs in a hilarious fashion. Or do I like that? Do I like the rug being snatched from under them? Or do I like
so
for
good.
them to be a joke over the course of the entire season and get blown out in a handful of games and just completely and totally screw themselves out? I mean, thinking about it now, I like it when they get to the playoffs and shit the bed.
That's pretty hot.
I mean, man, those two playoff games they lost to the Niners, where Dak tried to set the ball and they couldn't do it, and time ran out, and he's standing there like, "Oh, what's happening?" And then when the Niners just whooped them at Levi's, and they put poor Ezekiel Elliott out there to play center, and I think it was Fred Warner that blew his spot up. Oh man, I'm never gonna forget those games.
Because you know what it's like when my team plays a team that I hate, I want it to be a blowout. When other team plays a team that I hate, I like to. There is something about seeing them so devastated after a last second. A blowout, they can walk away. Sometimes you see them laughing in the middle of the game.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah. I don't want you to have any semblance of joy, even if you are laughing to mask the pain. I don't want any of that. I want complete and total devastation. You know what, Marcus? Once again, you are correct.
and people never forget those either, Rod.
Well,
they forget the blowouts, but they don't forget those last second losses.
And listen, you bring that up brings me to two of my favorite Cowboy losses when Tony Romo, when he messed off that extra point in Seattle in that wild card game after holding extra points and perfectly all year long. It got down to crunch time. He fumbled the extra point and tried to run, got stopped short of a first down. And then when Dez did not catch it against Green Bay. Yeah, you know what? You're right. I like it. I like it when they lose in spectacular fashion.
That stings, boy.
Yeah, it does.
That stings. Oh, my goodness.
It does. Your Raiders. So how do you say your Raiders doing this year?
So admittedly, I have not. I mean, I just can't stand to watch them.
Understandable. Understandable. They have to earn your trust.
Oh, wait. They have to have 2 good years.
Damn.
2 good years in a row.
Marcus say, "No, I ain't falling for the banana in the tailpipe no more. It's not going to be a good September or a good half of the season up to Thanksgiving and then a December swoon. It's not even going to be getting old Marcus on a good year." Marcus say, "You got to put together back-to-back solid campaigns." Damn.
Right. I spent 50 years supporting that team. I cannot do this anymore.
I respect
it. By the way, back-to-back winning seasons is a small price to pay, to follow them after 25 years of losing.
Yeah, no, I respect it. I get it.
So I need to see something that's tangible and real. No Mirage, they don't have a quarterback. I don't care who the hell they throw out there.
You're gonna like Geno, dog. Geno, understanding. understanding
fine.
who he is,
Yeah.
he's going to be the best quarterback you guys have had. And maybe this isn't saying a whole hell of a lot, but he's going to be the best quarterback you guys have had since David Carr
Yeah.
or
I
Derek
mean,
Carr. David Carr,
he'll be
which one?
fine. He'll be
Whatever. You know what
fine.
I'm talking about.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. He'll be fine. But am I getting excited about Nah. Am I excited about this team at all? Not in the least.
Understand it. You know,
I
temper
will
or
I will probably be a bandwagoner if this thing rolls. And if they win 4 games out of the first 10 games, I will start to pay attention to them.
I like it. I like it. As a child of divorce, I understand what you're doing. You are setting the expectation bar not low. You are digging a trench and putting the
Yes.
expectation bar in the trench and covering it. And if that bar that is well below ground is in any
Yep.
way, shape, or form exceeded by an entity, my father, or in your case, the Raiders, that has disappointed you over and over and over again. If it clears that subterranean bar, you're like, you know what? I'll give you a chance. Yeah, but that
And the
bar can be nowhere near above ground or off the ground, like
right,
a high bar of expectation.
right,
What?
right, not even close. And the only reason that there is some granular opportunity that I see with the Raiders is because they finally made a smart administrative decision in bringing in Pete Carroll.
Mhm.
I think he lends credibility as a coach
And competency, 100%.
and competency, and he lends credibility throughout the NFL.
Yep. Yep.
And that's important. If you want to be a good team, you have to have credibility. And this is the first person they've hired who comes in with it.
Yep.
We shall
100%.
see.
Daniel, thank you very much. It was Aziz Al-Shaair, of course, that
Ah,
blew up Dak Prescott on that
ah,
hilarious yet ill-fated play where they had him playing center at the end of the was it an NFC Championship game? I think it was an NFC Championship game
yes,
or a divisional
yes.
game. I forget exactly. So thank you very much, Daniel. Everybody get active in the chat. Get active in the comments. Real quick, Giants update. Let me make
What?
sure that yeah, I mean, listen, dog, the Giants are hot as fish grease right now, brother. They
Can't
are
be
in
mad.
St. Louis and took care of business tonight by the score of 8-2. So they have now won 3 games in a row, and the Giants are 73-69. Nice. Still 5 games back.
Yeah.
Sorry. Still 5 games back. Don't encourage me. Still 5 game bats back of the Mets, who pulled out a victory tonight against the Reds, who are also in the hunt for that third wild card spot. But the Giants keep trucking along. Took care of the St. Louis Cardinals in St. Louis, who they will see for the next couple of games over the weekend. Since the middle of August, the Giants, August 17th to be exact, the Giants second in Major League Baseball with 38 home runs.
Wow.
Adames and Devers, they both hit home runs tonight. Adames and Devers are tied for second in
These
Major
boys on
League
fire.
Baseball with 8 home runs. No, they are 100% beating the cover off the ball and pitching well. Pitching very well. Carson Wisenhunt had a no hitter cooking for a while. Not enough to get everybody to go crazy. Oh my God, it's a no hitter alert! But he was mowing them down in St. Louis. The bullpen is competent. I believe I mentioned this on shows earlier this week. For me, as impressive and as fun as the home runs are, as fun as and important as the offense is, to see the the Giants be competent defensively has been the biggest surprise, and I think as important as their offensive output as of late. So the Giants are playing a good brand of baseball for sure. It's just a question of if it's a little bit too late to matter.
Your
But
person Humboldt Facts is asking a question. Are there enough games left? We talked about this at the beginning of the week.
well,
It doesn't feel like it. However, anything is possible.
so I don't even know if it's a matter of games left. It's a matter of who they have.
Yeah,
So they've got 6 against the Arizona Diamondbacks,
winning.
including tomorrow. Yeah, but and I know this is a different team, even though it wasn't that long ago, but this is the same. It's the same group of jerseys that lost home series to the Washington Nationals and the Tampa Bay Rays, right? Now, again, this team wasn't hitting home runs like this current iteration of the Giants. That team wasn't hitting home runs. That team was not playing the type of defense that the Giants are playing right now. They weren't getting the pitching. So while it's the same uniform, it's a different team. But I say all that to say, yeah, you would look and go, you got 6 games against Arizona. You should be able to, with the way the Giants are hitting, pitching,
Right.
playing defense, running the bases much better than they did before they got on this hot streak. You should be able to at least take 4 out of 6 against Arizona. You're right. However, I don't know if you can necessarily play that game, so to speak. But they do have 6 games against the Arizona Diamondbacks, including tomorrow. They got 5 more games against the St. Louis Cardinals.
Whew.
3 games against the Colorado Rockies. Okay, so now you look here, 8, 6, 14 against competition that is below the Giants and games that they should win. Problem here is that they got 7 games against the Dodgers.
Yeah, that could be a
So that's the thing. I don't know if it's a matter of time, even though time is not necessarily on the Giants' side in terms of number of games. At 7 games against the Dodgers might end up being the problem.
Yeah, and they need some people to fall off a cliff.
Yeah, and the Mets are starting to figure it out once again. You know, they were having, because everybody goes through their swoon. I mean, everybody, even the best teams. And it seems like the Mets are starting to pick it up. But I was saying this to someone. Earlier that you know, the Mets have more epic collapses in their portfolio than they do World Series wins. You know, I mean, they're still the Mets, so it could happen. But you're running up against factors that are kind of out of your control, like the number of games that are left. You can make the most of the number of games that are left, but you just don't have enough to really chase teams down when you're 5 games back, and you have to have the Mets on some level come back to you.
You know, fall off the cliff.
Like I said, they pulled one out tonight against the Reds team that is trying to fight for that 3rd wild card spot too. So a lot of things have to happen, but the most important thing is that you have to play good baseball, and the Giants continue to play good baseball as they have over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, well, let's cross our fingers for the Gigante fans out there.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Getting back to football, just give me your most unpredictable thing for the NFL season. What do you think is going to surprise people this year? Give me a surprise prediction.
A surprise prediction.
There's something that you think may have a really good chance of happening that most people aren't even thinking about.
I think the Kansas City Chiefs could struggle to make the playoffs this year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that they are going to I don't think they're going to win the division. I don't think they're going to win the AFC West.
Wow.
Nope. Because they're dealing
win it.
I think the Chargers are going to win it.
Really?
And I'm not just saying that just because now the Chargers have a, you know, they have a 1-0 lead over the Chiefs in the division by virtue of winning tonight in Brazil. I think a couple of things. I think the Chiefs have some receiving issues. Xavier Worthy went out tonight.
Oh, boy.
And you know, Rashee Rice is going to be gone for a while because he's out there in them streets wilding. You still got Travis Kelce, you still got Patrick Mahomes, and you saw that combo tonight pay dividends when it looked like the Chiefs at the half were dead in the water, and then they came back to make it a game, albeit eventually losing 27-21. So they're still the Chiefs because they still have Mahomes, particularly, and Kelce. But I think they have too many question marks defensively for me. Anyway, they're not as strong as they had been over the last couple of years when they were going to the Super Bowl and winning Super Bowls. Obviously, we remember what they did against the Niners, but I think the Chiefs, they're just too many loose threads for them to to be able to put it together enough against two teams in particular, in the Broncos and the Chargers, who are good on both sides of the ball, and particularly defensively. I don't know if anybody's really been paying attention. That Denver defense ain't no joke.
Well, they were good last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All they need is competent offensive play. And even though I still think the Bo Nix that I see, even though he's wearing a Broncos uniform, I see the dude at Auburn, all right, that was throwing the ball all over the place, like a sugared up 10-year-old playing Madden. The guy that the Broncos have is the one that learned how to play quarterback in Oregon. So I'm gonna give him his credit, even though I think Bo Nix, I think the guy running around at Auburn playing like a chicken with his head cut off. But that's a good Denver outfit. It's a good Charger outfit. I think combining those factors, good competition in the division for the Chiefs, and maybe the Raiders might scare them too. Like, this will be the year I think the Raiders might get one against the Chiefs, which was an impossibility
all the time
in previous years. So I think the Chiefs are going to be a wild card team, and I think it's going to be a stressful wild card get into the playoff situation for them.
Yeah, I don't have faith in any of those squads. So that's the only reason I would pick the Chiefs to win the division. I don't have faith in any of those teams.
Well, I mean, it's still the class of the AFC, until proven otherwise, is Baltimore and Buffalo. My Texans, I would love for them to be a part of that conversation, but they still have some things to prove, not just to me, but to the NFL at large. I'm just saying that I think for the Chiefs, what was always thought of as the norm, them being the bosses of the AFC West, I think those days are over. And
it's pretty bold.
Yeah. Well, you asked.
That is a bold one. I'm beginning. I only say that not because I think the Chiefs are going to be a powerhouse. I just don't think much of that division. And I think Patrick Mahomes is going to be the difference between everything.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, he's the one thing that clearly no one has, but just talking in terms of the AFC West, he's the one thing that they don't have. I just think that, putting aside as important as the quarterback situation, they got a quarterback with the Chargers. They have a serviceable enough quarterback. Well, no, I'm not saying that he's on Patrick Mahomes' level, and there are better quarterbacks than Justin Herbert, sure. But I think he's in that conversation of, hey, man, if you got Justin Herbert on your team playing quarterback, you're doing okay.
Fair enough.
I think Bo Nix, again, I have my questions about him, but is he playing the position, at a level which, again, is he helping you more than he's hurting you? 100%. And with that defense, all he has to do is not hurt you, or at least not hurt you as much as he's helping you. So I even though there's always going to be a gap in terms of the best quarterback in the AFC West, that's going to be Patrick Mahomes. I think once you put aside, albeit that very important position, quarterback, you look at the rest of the teams comparably between the Chargers, the Raiders, and the Broncos. To me, it sort of checks out, or it grades out, where you look at the Chargers and the Broncos and you go, okay, comparing defenses to what they have at Kansas City, clearly I'm taking Denver. All right. Comparing offensive lines to what they have in Kansas City, I'm taking Denver's offensive line all day, every day, and what comes off of that. So in previous years, you couldn't say that. You couldn't say anything about Denver that was better than Kansas City. You couldn't say anything about the Chargers that was better than Kansas City. Coaching, Andy Reid is an absolute all-time great coach. However, Sean Payton ain't no slouch as a coach at all. Jim Harbaugh, weird as all get out. He's a really, really good coach. For a short amount of time, but he's a really, really, really good coach. Years ago, you couldn't say that. There was a massive gap between Andy Reid, the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs, and the rest of the coaches in the AFC West. You can throw the Raiders and Pete Carroll in there.
That's right. I forgot about Pete.
So again, to get back to the question that you asked, What do I think is going to be a surprise? I think it's going to be tough. I don't think the Chiefs are going to win the division, and I think it's going to be tough for the Chiefs to make the playoffs because they're going to have to get in that wild card mix and have to swing and bang with some teams that I think there's a respect factor, but they ain't scared of the Chiefs anymore. Not by any stretch.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I forgot about that. They are, at least in terms of coaching, everybody's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So I rest my case, damn it.
They've all won Super Bowls except for Harbaugh, and he's been.
I mean, and
wow.
listen, if he didn't have such a ridiculous allegiance to Greg Roman, they might have won that Super Bowl against the Baltimore Ravens. And I do not know why he has Greg Roman as his offensive coordinator right now. But hey, man, listen, there's a lot about Jim Harbaugh where I just go, really, dog? I just don't get you. I do not understand your entire get down. I do not understand it.
I heard a stat today because you mentioned Derrick Henry beating out CMC. So Derrick has been in the league for 9 years.
Mm-hmm.
He's about 500 yards or so away from 12,000 yards for his career, which is still fewer yards than he had in his high school career.
Saw that. I saw that.
That's insane.
Listen,
insane.
You got a youngster like Derrick Henry on your squad.
That is insane.
It is coaching malpractice to not turn around and hand the ball to that supposed kid every single. Have you seen highlights of Derrick Henry? God, I wish I could find some and then I put them up. Have you seen highlights of him in high school?
It's like a grown man playing with the peewees.
It's man amongst boys.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude.
And he was like that in college.
College too, but college, sure, I would expect a guy like that. But just something about getting 12,000 yards in 4 years in high school is insane to me. Like on any level, anybody doing that.
He played varsity from the time he showed up at school. Right. Derrick Henry, when he was in high school, was immediately the best. Once he graduated 8th grade, Derrick Henry was the best high school player.
That's insane.
At his school and in his entire area and possibly the entire state of Alabama. I don't know who else was around, but I feel pretty confident in saying that when Derrick Henry was in high school at Alabama, he was clearly the best high school player in Alabama.
It's so crazy. It must have been what it was like to watch Jim Brown live.
I can imagine. Yeah, that sounds about right. Co is saying that Derrick Henry's a vegan. I'm not laughing at his veganism. I'm just laughing at the fact that there's always the thought that if you're a vegan, you're not big, you're not tough, you're not strong. Man,
Papa was a vegan.
It's a good point. Never really thought about it that way.
I mean, what are we saying here?
But what was in Popeye's pipe though? What was he smoking?
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Popeye always had that pipe on him. He was always smoking.
That's
and
right. It was spinach and crack.
The diet of champions. Please don't do spinach and crack, kids. Please don't do
and now that I think about it, when I think about olive oil, looks like a crackhead. Maybe there were things going on with Popeye and olive oil that we need to talk about as adults.
You know what? I mean, now that you have this scenario in my head, it's like Gator and Halle Berry in Jungle Fever. Just two addicts who were made for each other. Man, we went from a football discussion to Popeye being a crack smoking vegan. That's what we do here on a Free for All Friday. If you were unsure about our entire get down on Free for All Friday, we can literally go in any direction we want to go in. Before we do on this date, you, Marcus, are our, albeit by default, official Golden State Valkyries reporter. And the Valkyries are in their inaugural season on their way to the WNBA playoffs. Let me say to that, bravo, ladies. Bravo.
The greatest expansion team in the history of professional sports. got to the playoffs in year one, finishing with a record above 500. Insane.
Well, I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you.
I can't think of any other expansion team that's ever not only finished above 500, but made the postseason in year one.
When
They gotta have
did,
a title.
when did the Jaguars go to the playoffs? That wasn't their first year, was it?
No.
When they
I
when
think
they
it was
when
like
they beat the
second or
pants off
third
of Jimmy
season.
Johnson and the Dolphins?
Yeah, that was like the second or third season. By the
Okay.
way, that was a good team.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, yeah.
That was a
Yeah.
good team.
Yeah. They had some Hall of Famers on that team, or at least
Yeah,
one.
that's a good squad, dude. That was
Yeah.
good squad. Mark Brunell was underappreciated.
Very much so. Very much so. But no, the Valkyries, just an
baby.
incredible story. Absolutely incredible
Yeah.
story. Yeah.
And they're playing in San Jose for the playoffs. Unfortunately, I was disappointed that they didn't go to Oakland. But for those folks who don't know, because it is so unique that any expansion team ever makes the postseason, there wasn't a hint that they would be in a position where they need to have a place to play. So they can't play at Chase, which is their home arena, Valhalla, and they can't play in Oakland because Oakland has an event going, and Chase has an event going. San Jose was the only option.
So is it multiple games or is it just one game that they'll play outside of Chase?
It's multiple games.
Okay.
Multiple games. We'll see what happens with. I think the San Francisco thing is a couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure about the Oakland one.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, obviously that's not it's not optimal, but it takes nothing away from what they've been able to accomplish in getting to the postseason. Yeah, that's pretty dope. That's pretty dope.
And they have a pretty decent shot at winning that first round.
Yeah.
Pretty decent shot. These guys are, I mean, I say that rhetorically, obviously.
Of course. And you say it with respect. You don't say it in the paternalistic way or smug way. You say it with respect.
Yeah.
Oh, we got it.
I mean, man, it was touch and go a lot of the season because they spent, I would say, 90% of the season just fighting to get to and stay at 500. In the last couple of weeks, they finally, not only did they get over that 500 mark, they cracked that bad boy. So congrats to them.
And let this be a not a lesson, but let this be an example that you can have a conversation about the WNBA and teams, or in the case where our conversation, a team and players. You can have a conversation about the whole that is the WNBA without being a flaming weirdo. Without being a stan for a player, without being a misogynist, just without being a weirdo. Like it's entirely possible. To talk about the WNBA. And listen, as an example, I don't watch the WNBA. Okay, not because I feel like I'm above it or whatever. I just don't watch it. I don't watch hockey. Right? It's there's a lot of things I don't watch. It doesn't mean that I don't have a respect for the people who play it. It's just not my type of hype.
Right.
But just because I don't watch it, I don't consume it, I don't have to belittle it. I don't have to say that it's not worthy of discussion or the accomplishments are not worthy to be talked about or the blemishes are not worthy to be talked about. And obviously you can have fun or whatever. I mean, they did have a spate of days where, sex toys are being thrown on the court. I mean, you got to talk about that. You got to kind of have a certain sense of humor, but you can do that without being a weirdo.
Yes.
It's entirely possible.
Absolutely. You got it. But there's something about modern, not just sports fans, but people who consume content in general. There is this level of know-it-allness, smugness that comes with so many people. They think that they know everything about everything, and they think that their opinion is, they have to criticize everything. There's so much critique and criticism about literally everything, Rod.
Well, see, that's the thing is,
Take the fun out of enjoying things because
yeah, that it's content. It's
that's it. It's
yes,
content.
yes, it's
Not
content,
sports,
but it's not
movies,
content. It's
right.
entertainment.
Mhm.
And I'm not purposefully trying to play a semantics game here. All right.
Sure.
I know it's all content. All right. I get that. I know entertainment is content, but I think to me, content is almost a nihilistic term to where it's just it is disposable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yes, in the grand scheme of things, sports, other like entertainment, non-sports entertainment, it's all disposable. It's all, you put it in its proper perspective, it's not that important, even though it is big business. It's still entertainment, and entertainment is content. But I think when everything is thought of as content,
Exactly.
it becomes one dimensional. It loses its humanity. And I think it's always important to understand that while these athletes, no matter the sport that they're playing, or these
Yep.
actors or these actresses or these people who are involved in whatever entertainment we choose to consume, that we're still talking about human beings. And human beings are going to be imperfect always. They're going to make mistakes. They're going to be happy accidents. A lot of it is just going to be mundane. A lot of it's just going to be ho hum. But it all doesn't have to be just, it's either good or bad. And
Yeah.
then once you're done with it, you're done with it. Boom. Like it's just, it's like the WNBA. These are, aesthetically, it's completely different than the NBA. Clearly,
Yes.
and it might not be your type of basketball, but you're still talking about hardworking, driven, determined human beings
Yep.
who happen to be women who are doing something that is extraordinary, which is playing professional basketball in the United States of America for a living. And even if you don't watch it, like me, you have to be a real asshole not to be able to respect people who have
Yep.
found a way to find their place in life, and for a lot of them live out their dream. Dig what I'm saying?
Yep. Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. We are in this space where, listen, I reviewed movies on radio for 20 years. I wrote music reviews for 5 years for the Oakland Tribune. And I did it because I love that stuff. I love talking about that stuff, not because I wanted to get out there and just shit on stuff.
Yeah.
And I feel like people consume things,
To
consume
shit on.
art, just to find something to bitch about.
Yeah.
So now that you've walked into this film, or you picked up this record, or you're watching this game or this league with the specific intent to criticize it as opposed to enjoy it.
Yeah. It's amazing how, and maybe a lot of this has to do with the a couple of things. I think the effort it takes nowadays, even though everything is seemingly at our fingertips, but the effort it takes nowadays to consume media, the cost specifically to consume media, and this thought that the people who are making this media, well, they're all rich,
Yeah.
and therefore they should be able to, you should judge them harsher because they are, in your mind, rich or privileged. You
Yep.
know what I mean? It is something that really is in sports has taken off, and not in a good way, that we don't see athletes as human because we think they have a lot of money and they
Yep.
have a lot of fame. Well, because you have that and I don't have that, and most normal people don't have that, then I can't sort of freely and openly accept, or at least be able to without prejudice judge, for lack of a better word, what you do.
Yes, absolutely. Preach that shit.
Yeah.
I just want to have fun. I just want to have fun and watch stuff. If we want to talk about it, I can talk about it from an honest place
Right.
of whether or not I enjoy it or not, as opposed
Yeah.
to me. The other part of it is there's money to be made in criticizing things. There isn't a lot of money to be made in saying things that you like.
Yeah. You can make money in being a hater.
Oh my God. As evidenced by every single talk show on television and radio right now.
It's not a cottage industry. It is a legitimate it's
a multi-billion-dollar business.
You can make money being a jerk.
Yeah, man.
I guess so. I guess that's the American way. On this date, as we are in the midst of September, on this date, September 5th. See if I can go in chronological order here. On this date in 1976, one of the greatest television shows of all time made its debut. Welcome to the Muppet Show. Come on, dog.
76?
Come on, dog. Don't ever. Not you. Don't ever front on the Muppet Show. The Muppet Show is a stone cold classic, son.
I love the Muppet Show.
Oh
man.
my God, it's the best. And it still holds up to this day. Oh man, it's the best.
Was it Sunday nights?
It was syndicated. So yeah, I got it when I was a kid growing up in Houston. I got it on Saturdays.
Saturday nights.
Yeah, Saturday nights, Sunday nights, whatever. Oh, the Muppet Show's the best.
I love the Muppet Show, man.
Come on,
I love it. Love
Muppet Show came out on this date in 1976. On this date in 2005, I'll set the scene before I play the video. Miami and Florida State are engaging in a gridiron contest in Tallahassee, Florida, on the campus of Florida State University. Brent Musburger is on the call. The great Brent Musburger is on the call. And you get the obligatory co-eds in the crowd shots.
Oh, yeah.
Camera turned to the crowd, and Brent Musburger uttered these words.
I'll never forget this.
1,500 red-blooded Americans just decided to apply to Florida State. Yeah, indeed, Jack. Florida State will take this, Gary, and looking down.
The woman in the middle here, I'll go back to the beginning and without the banner. The woman in the middle here in the bikini top is Jen Sturger.
Yep.
She was a student at Florida State University.
Yeah.
And at that game, and she was the apple of Brent Musburger's eye.
Yes, she was.
On this date 20 years ago. The name Jen Sturger, I don't know if it's going to ring a bell, but when I say what I'm about to say, you'll go, yes, of course. Yep. Jen Sturger, to her credit, parlayed this bit of fame, parlayed it into a media career. She was the woman, while working for the New York Jets, she was the woman that was on the receiving end, and not willingly on the receiving end of the dick pics.
Yeah, buddy.
From Brett Favre.
Yeah,
this woman right here that Brent Musburger is openly lusting after on live over-the-air free broadcast television. This woman, Jen Sturger, that Brent Musburger is referring to, this woman, she got her 15 minutes of fame clock started ticking on this very night, September 5th, 2005.
So I don't know if you saw the documentary that she was in.
You told me about it. Yeah, you told me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she went on to be a stand-up comic.
Did you really?
Yeah. She had that media career, and then the Brett Favre thing ruined it.
And she found a sense of humor, huh?
Well, the thing that bothered her, I guess, was that she because of the Brett Favre stuff, she never got the chance to. I guess she was offered all these jobs, and that Brett Favre thing kind of ruined it all for her.
Mm-hmm.
So she never got to like show her personality and show her smarts and all that stuff. So she decided to go ahead and she loves stand-up comedy. She decided to go and be a stand-up.
Is she any good at it?
That I don't know. I didn't see her. I haven't seen it. Hopefully she's working in the clubs like all the other stand-up is one of those things where you got to earn it. Like,
yeah, no, 100%. 100%.
Somebody's gonna give you a head start somewhere, a la Ti, but you got to earn your stripes.
Yeah, I've heard about Florida State, and I heard there was a lot of Jen Sturgers down there. If and Marcus, you know this, knowing the South and living in New Orleans, man, let me tell you, there is nothing like a college campus in the South.
Woo,
and listen, I don't care where you go. I don't care if you go to a big school like Florida State or LSU or Alabama. I don't care if you go to FAMU or you go to Southern or you go to Jackson State or you go to Fisk or you go to Xavier or anywhere. A college campus in the South, boy, oh boy. This time of year, football season.
It is true.
Ooh, especially when homecoming gets popping.
Like Kurt Angle said, it's true.
Lord have mercy.
It's true.
Lord have mercy. We were talking about the Muppet Show earlier. Yeah, humble facts. We've all done it. And Statler and Waldorf, the two old men in the Muppet Show, we didn't know this at the time, but we figured it out now. Those were aspirational characters. That's what you want to be. You wanted to grow old and then be able to, with a wink and a smile, just shit on everything. You don't want to be, a true hater, but you just want to be able to.
They knew how to have fun with it.
They were pop culture critics. Statler and Waldorf, the two old men in the Muppet Show on the balcony. They were ahead of their time. That's one of the reasons, or I guess two of the reasons, why the Muppet Show is so great. And because I have random bits of trivia in my head that I have to get out. Statler and Waldorf are named after hotels in New York. There you go.
Nice.
I might have won you a free beer at a bar one day on trivia night. So there you go. And on this date, as we wrap it up on this date, September 5th, the reason I am wearing this jersey of the great Hakeem Abdul-Olajuwon, my favorite basketball player, is that Dream went into the Hall of Fame on this date in 2008. Everybody's got their favorite, but I could not be happier that Hakeem Olajuwon is my guy, because he is 101. There is nobody like him before him, nobody like him now, and I don't know if we're going to see anybody like him in the not too distant future. The great Hakeem Abdul-Olajuwon was that guy.
That's the beauty of being a great player. You usually are one of one.
Yeah.
Usually are one. Hakeem was that guy. I love Hakeem too, man. Sure. Hakeem was one of my 10 favorite players of all time.
And listen, he's always going to be on that list of great players. We know who are considered the greatest. Okay. We can argue about who it is or whatever, maybe not argue about it. Who gives a shit? But you talk about great players, you talk about, at that position, you talk about great centers. You don't get too far before you get to Hakeem's name. You got Kareem, you got Wilt. You can throw Bill Russell in there if you want to.
Got to. I feel like you got to.
Then it's Hakeem. Beyond that, I don't know of anybody better. And there's a reason that the Defensive Player of the Year award is named after Hakeem Olajuwon. He was that good on both ends of the court. And he went to the Hall of Fame on this date in 2008.
No, does not ever, who was amazing and who really is one of the greatest centers of all time. Moses Malone.
Yeah. And why do we have Hakeem Olajuwon's greatness? It's because of Moses Malone. Moses Malone, there's a place in Houston called Fondy Rec Center. And in the late 70s and early 80s, early to mid 80s, in the summer, that's where the NBA players came to get summer run, to get in shape for then training camp and then the regular season. And when Akeem was at the University of Houston, he was athletically ridiculous.
Yeah.
But the nuances of playing the game were still yet to be grasped by Akeem. Moses was well into his career, and at that time, considered to be one of the best centers in the league behind Kareem, because Kareem's Kareem.
Yeah.
And Moses basically took Akeem under his wing, and that summer, I forget if it's the summer of 82 or 83.
Akeem was drafted in 84. Was that right?
He was drafted in 84. Right.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
Moses MVP literally in 83.
Right. And
Finals
so
MVP.
So Moses took Akeem under his wing that summer, and it was just Moses and Akeem, just bam. This is back when you could play the position with force and with physicality and all that. And Moses is the one who laid the groundwork for Akeem's greatness. It's all Akeem, it's all Akeem's work. But his summer with Moses Malone is what, this is the best way to put it, is what set Akeem on the path of being one of the all-time greats. You do not,
Sure.
I think Akeem would have been a great player, and I think he would have been a Hall of Famer. I don't know if he would have been an all-time great if it wasn't for that summer and if it wasn't for that tutelage from Moses Malone. They are inexorably linked.
You know who else kind of owes his career to Moses Malone? It is Charles Barkley.
Yeah, got him in shape. Yeah.
Who speaks famously of Moses telling him, "You fat. That's why you're never going to."
Made him cry.
You ain't never going to be nothing because you fat. You don't take the game serious.
Made him cry. And then made him get in shape and made him, just like Akeem, into a player that probably would have been an all-star.
Sure.
A player that probably would have been a Hall of Famer, but he wouldn't have been an all-time great. And please believe, if you only know him as the guy on TV, you don't know how good Charles Barkley was.
Preach, man.
Especially when he was with the Sixers. And you don't get that if Moses Malone. Yeah, and I'm not going to sit here and say that you don't have players nowadays who because I do think NBA players, out of all of the major sports, they're the ones who feel the responsibility of giving back to the youngers, for lack of a better way of putting it. They don't mind teaching the game to the guys that will ultimately replace them. Football players do not do that shit at all. And baseball players can be notoriously prickly about sharing whatever secrets they feel like they have. Basketball players don't have that. It really is a fraternity. It really is a community. But it's so cool to know that you have those through lines, Moses to Akeem, Moses to Kareem, obviously many other examples that I haven't come up with yet. And you still have that to this day, dudes. That summer run and getting that work in the summer, and guys coming together and getting some of the young cats to come along with them. And, maybe they're hand-picked, hand-selected, whatever, but having those young guys come along with them, that's just a part of the Hoopers ethos. And it's a really cool part of the sport and the community of basketball.
Talk about it. That's great.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah.
Any chance to talk about Moses too?
Man.
Rest
in peace. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Woo, he was a handful though, boy. Woo,
yeah. Big boy. Big boy.
I remember, I can tell the story now. I used to hang out with old newspaper guys when I was a young pup in Houston trying to learn this game.
Yeah.
And, I would love to sit around and just hear them tell stories. And, these are guys who covered the NBA back before chartered flights.
Yeah.
So they would all go to the airport at the same time. They would all get on the same commercial plane, and they would all fly across the country all with each other. So you really, really, really knew the players. And I remember them telling me a story about Moses Malone, who grew up in Petersburg, Virginia.
Yeah.
And he played against a guy named Mailman. Okay. And one of the reporters asked, well, why was he called Mailman? And Moses, who was a very matter of fact guy, he laid it out the way it is. Moses said, "Well, it's because he killed a mailman." That's why they called him mailman.
And did he come out of high school?
Oh yeah, yep, absolutely. He went to the ABA. He was with the Virginia Squires.
Right, the Squires.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Julius came from the Squires.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, man.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, listen, NBA dodged the bullet because the ABA was coming hard for them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just like the NFL with the AFL, they knew what they were doing. They knew it was. They had to. Competing with it would have been a bloody war that maybe they would have won, but at what cost? It's easier, and we see this now in business all the time. It's easier just to absorb it to get rid of the problem.
Yep. Amen.
That's just the way it is. So there you go. On this date, September 5th, those are the things that went down. Shall we do best thing I saw today and then get on out here and enjoy our weekend? Best thing I saw today is this graphic from Fox Sports concerning last night's professional football contest between the Dallas Cowboys and the Eagles of Philadelphia. The Dallas Cowboys did not score in the second half.
Yeah, that's rough. It's rough. It all started so well, and they were moving pretty easily too.
Oh yeah. And then CD Lamb realized that he has hands like those Lego minifigures where they don't have fingers, they just have the just like the cups. Like that's CD Lamb's hands. He has Lego minifig hands, and that's why he dropped those very key passes last night, which would have helped Dallas in its desire to score in the second half. But alas, they did not. And that is the best thing I saw today.
Dak Prescott, man, he keeps getting paid. And I mean, I'm not mad at him.
No.
Boy, oh boy.
Respecting that. But I mean, listen, he should get paid because he's got two jobs. One is the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, and the other is the carrier of Jerry Jones's water. So
these are facts. People don't understand what you just said, but that's a word.
Find a lie. Okay,
that's the word.
Find a lie that I just
told. The word.
So there you go. That's the best thing that I saw today, my man. I think we did it. We did a free for all Friday on this episode of Quality Hang. Before we get on out of here, we would like to, as always, thank our presenting sponsor, the fine folks at Hop Monk Taverns. 3 locations to choose from: Sonoma, Sebastopol, and in Novato. Check them out online at hopmonk.com to see what they have coming up live music, live entertainment wise. Also to see their diverse menu and their great food from their diverse menu, and the craft beer selection is absolutely out of this world. So check them out online at hopmonk.com and follow them on all the socials. To the quality hangers in the comments, thank you. We always appreciate your involvement, and we love the involvement. So if you were watching today and you're like, I don't know if I should get in the comments, don't be scared. Come on, get in the comments. Come on, have fun. It is nothing but love around these parts. All Humboldt facts. Thank you both for an articulate, intelligent, thought-provoking Friday night. Most enjoyable, gentlemen. Look at us. We're intelligent and thought-provoking.
Giggity. Humboldt, wait till we see more lime green neon dildos hitting the court.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how intelligent and thought-provoking I am, considering that when I mentioned that the Giants have a record of 72-69, I immediately went, nice. No, you guys are the best. We absolutely love you, and we thank you so much for your support and the kind words. All right, my brother, have yourself a fantastic weekend. I will see you on Monday at 8 o'clock. How about it?
Let's do it, baby.
All right, everybody, have a great weekend. Be good and be good at it. We will see ya.